Well, hello everybody. We would like to welcome you back to my videos today. And I've been getting a lot of questions recently, but one person really sparked the flame, you might could say, tonight on this subject entitled Calvinism. Many people have said, well, Jacob, do you believe in Calvinism? Do you believe in election? Do you believe in irresistible grace? I've gotten comments from many sources that say, well, God has chosen me. I've gotten comments from several other sources of this or that about Calvinism. It has been predominant in my church. People believing it, and my pastors had to go and said, no, that isn't the way it is. And so we've had to have big debates in our church about Calvinism, and that led to a lot of things. But now that I've spent the first minute and I've wasted it on talking on how many debates that Calvinism has been through, we're going to get to the point. Turn with me to Ephesians 4 if you have a Bible. Ephesians 4, and we're going to look at verses 14 through 15. Verses 14 through 15. And this, I don't want anybody to get offended by this verse. That this is not what the verse is for, and I'm going to explain the verse here in a minute. Ephesians 4, 14 and 15. It says right here, it says, that we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro and carried about with every wind of doctrine by the sleight of men and in cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive. But speaking the truth in love may grow up in him in all things, which is the head, even Christ. So why are we going into this? That way people do not get too deceived. Let me tell you, there's a doctrine out here today. It's called Calvinism, and here are its 5 basic steps. Number 1, total depravity. Number 2, unconditional election. Number 3, limited atonement. 4, irresistible grace. And number 5, perseverance of the saints. Turn with me to 1 Timothy 4 through 6. 1 Timothy 2, 4, and 6. Here's what it says. It says, who will have awe to be saved and to come to the knowledge of the truth. Verse 6 says, who gave himself a ransom for all to be testified in due time. Christ gave himself to be a ransom for all. I look back on the verse, John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. Now let me tell you what John Calvin said about that verse. You see, Calvin did not even create Calvinism. It was made about 50 years afterwards in Switzerland, and it became a very heavily predominant doctrine in Switzerland. Let me tell you what John Calvin said about Calvinism. That whosoever believeth on him may not perish. It is a remarkable condemnation of the faith that it frees us from everlasting destruction. For he intended expressly to state that, though we appear to have been born to death, undoubted deliverance is offered to us by the faith of Christ, and therefore we ought not to fear death, which otherwise hangs over us. And he has employed the universal term, whosoever, both to invite all indiscriminately to partake of, and to cut off every excuse from unbelievers.